What's up, also? Welcome to an episode of What I'm Playing Today? Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. Just when you thought there weren't more ways to play Sonic the Hedgehog. Just when you thought I'd run out of things to talk about. Shh, just listen. That's some bitchin' music. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's some bitchin' music. This is Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. I don't think Volume 2 ever came out. This is for the Sega Dreamcast. And it has Sonic the Hedgehog. It has Sonic the Hedgehog. So we're gonna play Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay. Oh, that sounds a little weird. That sounds a little lower pitched. We're gonna have to check this out. Let's see what happens. Oh! Glitchy! He's in front like... Sonic popped up. Ew. Ew. This is like a cross between like Sega. Oh, the box worked. The box was weird. The box was weird. Okay, now I gotta figure out what this game is. Cause this music is trash. This music is garbage. I don't know why. See, this is why I gotta do research before I do these videos so I can actually talk about why. But I kind of prefer the spur of the moment. Let's just hop into a game and see what happens. But this sounds like a cross between like 8-bit freaking garbage music. Oh, there's slowdown. We got slowdown. And like the actual good music. Everything just sounds more hollow, for lack of a better word. Let's see. Oh no, okay. It was just weird how I went through that box. I like went through the side of that box the first time. Yes! Alright, we gotta go in here. Alright, let's look up Sega Smash Pack. Oh no, I'm dying. I'm dying. Okay, let's go. Oh, I didn't even press any buttons. That's how you know I'm so good. That's how you know I'm good. Didn't even push buttons. Touch fuzzy, get dizzy. I gotta play some Yoshi's Story. Alright. Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. I bought this for like $30 from my retro game store. Just to play Sonic 1. Oh, there was a pack. Oh no, pack 2 and 3 only came out on Windows. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Genesis? Okay. 4.5 out of 10. Okay. Console version has patchy performance and poorly emulated music. Alright, we knew this. Genesis emulator built inside the compilation, game popular with homebrew groups. Well, that's cool. I'll have to look more at this. But okay, this is just trash emulation. That's good. That's good to know. But this is why we do this. This is why we play all the Sonic games. This is why we play Sonic 1. Like 100 episodes of my freaking 1,500 videos on this channel are me playing Sonic 1. Or, you know, one of the classic games. Why? Because you just got to. You gotta play it. You gotta see what changes. You gotta see... every time. I overestimate, and I undercommit. Don't mind your boy. I just was sick, so I was sickly. Like I was, what time is it? Oh god, I don't know what time it is. Got a phone call to make. Yeah, I was sick for like, I've been sick for like 2 weeks. I was sick last week on like one of the days, and then I thought I was getting better. Like it was just like a weird cold sort of, and it went away. And then I went outside to do some work outside in the rain. Got sick again. Just been coughing. Been hacking up a lung. Look like one of the mobsters in freaking The Sopranos. Go watch The Sopranos. I'm gonna try to cut out sniffles, but I'm not really gonna. There was one at the beginning I'm gonna cut out. But, you know me, I'm snoring out here. Oh god, this is so bad. This is so bad. Like, the best part about this game might be the music, and they just ruined that. This is the thing, though. Like, how can Sega release things like this that aren't faithful to the preservation of their own game? It's like they just do it for money. Now, that brings me to an interesting point, because one of the things we're going to talk about today, which... I mean, you know, it is what it is. One of the things we're going to talk about today is emulation. Why? Because this very game is emulation. This Sega Smash Pack is a Sega Genesis game running on hardware that is not a Sega Genesis. And it was sold as such. It was sold as such to the unknowing consumer, or maybe the knowing consumer. I don't know. Back in '99, who was really talking about emulation? Like on a consumer level. Not like your average, video game emulation nerds, but like, your mom went to the store, bought this game for you. She wasn't like, oh, honey, they went and they just emulated that there Sonic there, so we can't be buying that game there. Why is mom freaking from Canada? Anyway, this game is being emulated, as I just read from the Wikipedia page. Companies use emulation to their own nefarious ends, as evidenced by this game, as evidenced by Nintendo Switch Online, as evidenced by countless other representations in the video game landscape. And yet somehow Nintendo thinks it's acceptable to call people out for making videos about emulation. Now I get it. I'm not adding anything to the conversation here necessarily. I haven't really thought on my thoughts on this. I think on the one hand, it's kind of sucky to go after a content creator. The story goes, Rush from Retro Game Core, he's gotten a couple of copyright strikes on his channel in the last couple of weeks from Nintendo, claiming, misuse. Whoa. Oh, they messed up the sound effects. Supposed to go, whoa. And so it goes, like, that's trash. Anyway, they hit him with a couple copyright strikes. He's been making videos. He made a video about the MIG switch dumper. Say dumper 10 times in a row without laughing. Oh, just still have the. Okay, still has the glitch jump. Anyway, oh god, that's so sharp. I don't like that sound. I wonder if it has spike glitch. Probably. Whoa. Ew. Anyway, he made a video about the dumper, which obviously, even though based on that, like, was it the Dreamcast case, where there was a company making, or that made software that allowed you to back up your games. I don't know what it was. It was. I'm pretty sure it was a Sega Dreamcast / Sony PlayStation emulation case back in the early or the late 90s that helped to solidify the fact that you can, in fact, back up your rightfully owned games. Despite that, you got Nintendo hitting this dude with copyright strikes over his freaking videos, which show him emulating games. Part of the problem, I guess, is that, if you don't know where you get the games from, you're just gonna assume piracy, and piracy is bad, and Nintendo's gonna come after you. At the same time, there's a whole bunch of companies that make these systems that are meant for emulation, and to my knowledge, Nintendo hasn't really gone after them. So much so that now that I think about it, as I said, this is just a rambling menagerie of conversation. But as I'm thinking about this, I don't know that Nintendo's gone after any of like the emulating consoles. Like, there's even that one, I forget, is it Ambernick or like which one of those companies is doing it, but there's an N64 emulator they're coming out with, and it's like, I think you can put the cartridge directly into the console. Like, it's one of those. And like, you have your Retrons and all that stuff. And that's never seemed to be a problem, because emulation on its face is legal, save for when you have the issues of, like, I guess, using this freaking, helping people to distribute games at one point. But oh my god, I almost had that joke. It's glitchy. This game's glitchy. It's laggy, so I'm screwing up. So, on the one hand, it's like emulation is legal. Backing up my games is legal. You can back up your own music. You can put your file right here. It's the distribution of it that's, problematic, and that makes sense. Retro Game Core, he wasn't distributing games. He was just showcasing games. Now I get it. Like I said, with Yuzu and other potential emulation software that does, or at one point had facilitated the piracy of games, I think it becomes a slippery slope where you have somebody who is claiming to be doing good and doing the right thing, but it may be inadvertently or maliciously is helping people do their own thing, like the MIG switch dumper. There was that whole theoretical argument about how people could get the dumper, rip the cart, and then go online, then sell the cart back, and then two people with that cart, identical copies of that cart, go online and at the same time, and then both switches get banned. Like that was a whole thing that every freaking YouTuber was talking about. And I get it. It makes a lot of sense. At the same time, I kind of feel like emulation. Oh, I knew that wasn't gonna work. You need this. You need speed. You need the speed of 2. You need the speed of 2 of these to be able to get going. Oh, I pressed jump. I pressed jump. I pressed jump and it didn't jump. I literally pressed jump. Let's see. Yeah, you see me. I'm just running off the slope because I'm pressing jump and he's not. Okay, let's try a different button. Okay, there we go. I think it's hard because not that I don't condone Nintendo, going after people who emulate games or any of that stuff. What I think is problematic is that for something that shoulders so closely on the verge of piracy when it comes to emulation, I think a lot of people are, for lack of a better term, flying too close to the sun. And it's not that I want people to be like, oh, you gotta respect these multi-billion-dollar companies that and make sure you protect their rights. I'm not saying that, but I do think it can be tough when you have companies that we have people who are outwardly kind of unabashedly sharing like pirated content and then wondering why somebody comes after them when they get too big for their britches. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've talked numerous times about how I have game backup setups and all that sort of stuff for the games that I legally own, that I purchased. But it's also not something that I go and I try to shout from the mountaintops because I realize it can be dicey. And at the end of the day, my goal is to just enjoy the games that I enjoy and enjoy them in a way that suits me. I think to some degree, and I found this when it comes to like the Steam Deck, I think to some degree, the hobby of emulation is kind of a bottomless, it's kind of a bottomless pit where you start out and you're like, you know what, like here's where I started with like emulation. For me, it started with Kega Fusion. I was like in high school and I found out about Sonic fan hacks and I was like, yo, let me try and download some. And so I played, the Sonic Mega Mixes and the Sonic One with Fries or whatever it is. Hey, go check my playlist. I have a bunch of those games. And it was fun, and it was something that was became a genuine interest for me of like, oh, when I feel like I'm gonna seek out, fan hacks. And then from there, I didn't really think too much about emulation. Probably maybe until about a decade later, when I got into the Melee scene. And with Melee, you have Dolphin and all these retroactive ways you can play Melee online, and you can Project M and things like that. And it became something that's like, oh wow, there's new life for this game that I love. That wasn't even 10 years later. That was probably like 5 years later, honestly. Now I think about it, because I was in high school, but in college basically is when I got into the kind of the Melee scene and that dealt with emulation. And then from there, I really didn't touch it in like an unofficial capacity. Of course, there's the Wii Virtual Console, and the Wii U Virtual Console, and 3DS, and all those systems that have allowed you to emulate games in an official capacity. But beyond that, I really didn't think too much about emulation until I got into it with the Steam Deck and Mini Deck. Because frankly, and this isn't a knock to people who don't have this luxury, I have so many systems and I have plenty of ways to play these games that it was never more convenient for me to emulate a game. It was convenient for me to emulate fan games, but it's never really more convenient to emulate a game for me if I already owned it. And that's not a not like, oh, look at me. It's just I've been fortunate enough to keep a lot of my old systems, so I have ways to play them. You know, I have a couple. Oh, just listen. No, I don't even. This is trash. This is trash. This is trash. Oh god, this sounds awful. I mean, it's actually not that bad. It's kind of like more low key. All right, just listen. All right, it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a song. It's okay. But the point being, with the Steam Deck and the ease of emulation, and then all these tools for being able to back up your games, discs and cartridge and all that, I got more into emulation. And frankly, I understand the appeal. And one of the things that I realized is half the fun is seeing the different ways you can play a game, whether it's you're playing on a PC or you're playing on the Steam Deck or one of those other handhelds. You want to see how you can play the game. You want to see how many games you can play and what you can try. And I think it becomes sort of this addiction where you want to try to see what you can make a system do that couldn't be done on the original game. I know that's what a lot of people are getting a kick out of when it comes to Switch emulation, and why I think it's become such a big deal right now, because frankly the Switch is a hamstrung console to the fault of no one but Nintendo. And people are kind of tired of it when they can say, hey, I can back up my games or illegally download them and play them on my PC or a handheld that will actually give me better frame rates and better resolutions than would be possible with can you just, okay, do it this way? Okay, we're gonna do it this way. How do I can't time it right here. Yeah, better to play. Oh, those guys just disappeared. The Yannis, the Yadoris, they just disappeared. But they can play their games on a system that runs better than their actual Switch does. And it's like funny because you see it with Tears of the Kingdom and getting pirated and freaking what's the other game? Breath of the Wild running better on Steam decks and things. I think one of the, I don't know if this is the case, but I know some people will play the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild on like a Steam Deck or something because it'll run better than like a Switch, because Wii U emulation has gotten that good. I don't really know where I am going with all of this other than to say I think I can sort of understand both sides of the argument, and I'm not coming in here to be a moderate because I am all for games preservation, and that's a huge thing for me. As an example, I purchased not Assassin's Creed. I purchased Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown in January when it came out, and I hadn't played it. And I still haven't played it. I booted it up last week for the PS5, slid the game into the console, sat there and was like, I waited for it to install, got all ready, and then I go to play the game, and what does it say? You need to make a Ubisoft account. To play this single player game that shouldn't require an online presence, I need a Ubisoft online account. I uninstalled the game, and I have no plans on playing that game ever. And it's things like that that make me realize that physical game preservation is important. The fact that I can boot up a copy of Sonic 1 in a myriad of formats and not worry about whether or not I have to have an internet connection or I have an account to be able to enjoy the game is huge. And for that reason alone, I think it's super important to have emulation and to be able to back up games so that you don't give the companies carte blanche to just control the product that they sold to you. At the same time, I know it gets dicey when people just will go online through 2 clicks of Google, find how to download a game, because then you end up with people who abuse the system. I don't know where this is supposed to end. I do fear that as time goes on, and you're seeing it now with streaming services where owning movies used to be a thing. I own the entire series of The Office on DVD. I own freaking the Fast and the Furious first 9 movies on DVD because I love those movies. we're getting to a point where companies, they don't want you to own. Sorry, I'm trying not to die here. They don't. Why are there no rings here? We're getting to that point where companies don't want you to own. They want you to license. They want you to rent. It's like we're going the Blockbuster model. Even though Blockbuster died. I don't want to have to hope that you're going to keep some sort of digital good on your store or on your streaming platform so I can access it. Now, I understand there are rights and, oh, music, we use a sample and we didn't get clearance, now we gotta take it off. I understand that type of thing. But to think that someone can create something that people can enjoy and appreciate and then just be like, you know what, no, we're gonna delete that. I mean, if I go to the store and I buy an action figure with the likeness of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, you can't come into my house and be like, no, you don't own that anymore because Tom Holland's likeness is on it and we lost the deal, so now it's gone. No. Then it becomes a piece of toy figurine history, and I can still do what I like with it. I don't know. It's hard because I also realize, you know, games are digital media, or increasingly digital media now. So how can you compare a physical good to something that's digital? I don't know. It's a hard place to be, and I don't know what more to say than to, if you can find the means to back up your own games and preserve them, please do so. Do so while the tools are out there and readily available, so that when Nintendo and Sony and other places come around trying to tell you that you can't protect your media, you've already done it. That's what I'm doing. That's all I can do. I've already reckoned with the fact that there's going to come a time where I don't buy the PlayStation 6 or the PlayStation 7 or the Xbox 720 or whatever the next system is. Not because I'm getting older or because I don't have time for games or because I don't even like gaming. I'm not going to do it because I can't support the business model of these companies that can constantly prey on consumers that frankly have done nothing but show incredible amounts of love and support for their products. When I think about gamers, I think about the fact that gaming was once an incredibly ostracizing hobby. Think about all the kids who got bullied for playing Pokemon at lunch, or, you know, acting out Dragon Ball Z scenes, and, you know, gaming anime or car games or anything. Oh god, this looks terrible. Why is this piss green? But think about all the kids who got bullied for liking video games because it wasn't cool, you know. And to see where games have come from now, where everyone can game. There's freaking grandmas on Twitch. Whoa. There's grandmas on Twitch gaming. There are games that are made for everyone, and everyone can participate in games because games are a form of escapism. They're a form of just sheer fun. They're a way to connect with people. They bring so many points of joy for people's lives. And literally, there's something for everyone. I got my mom a freaking Atari for Christmas last year when they remade the Atari, because that's something that she grew up with. There's something for everyone. And it just hurts that we're at this point where I knew I was going to have more good. We should be good. We're at this point where Nintendo and other companies will just kick gamers to the curb for not playing the way they want you to play. I don't know. It's a shame, and I'm just mentally preparing myself for the day when I say, you know what, I'm just gonna pass on gaming because, okay, you gotta get up there, Sonic. When I say I'm gonna pass on gaming because it's more of a hassle to play a game than it is to just not, and that's a shame. Why'd I go this way? Oh wait, I am supposed to go this way, right? Yeah. Anyway, this level looks like trash, and it sounds like trash. It's a shame because this is really like the second best song in the game, and the fact that it just ain't good here. It just ain't good. Right, get those coins. Get those coins. Oh, thank you. Courtesy water. Courtesy water. Alright, you gotta get up there. Thank you. Is this gonna be a full playthrough? I don't know. I've kind of said my whole spiel on emulation and game preservation, which I will repeat once again. Preserve your games any way you can. Preserve your legally obtained games. I know one of the things I was listening to Wolfden podcast, and they were talking about this bill in California that had something to do with companies being forced to tell people that they're licensing a product. And I think one of the points that they were getting stuck on, brothers Bob and Will, was the fact that it's a step backwards. And I can see where that is the problem. When a company can say, hey, we're going to license this thing to you, that means that they can revoke it at any time. Or you could do something that infringes upon their license. And again, it means that you just can't play it. If a game is always online and you buy it, which is really just terms to license it, when they decide that this game isn't profitable anymore, they're not going to host servers, they're not going to support updates, and they pull it, you have no recourse. You can't play single player offline. You can't, share it with a friend who hasn't gotten the chance to enjoy it. You just have to suck it up, and that stinks. That stinks. It shouldn't be so hard to enjoy media. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm just freeballing this as I go along, but it's kind of like, in a sense, it's kind of like banned books, in the sense that this stuff is already out there, and companies are retroactively, in the case of books, like governments and religious groups and whatnot, are retroactively trying to erase the historical record by saying, no, we don't believe in this, so this book shouldn't be in the system, this book shouldn't be in the system. And companies are saying, well, we think this, so you shouldn't have access to this product, or you should have access to that product. And that's not okay. Once it's out there, it's out there. We can't erase history. We can acknowledge that history is terrible. As a black man, it's not fun to think about how the lineage of my ancestors is probably not well documented because of a little thing called slavery, but it doesn't mean that I also can't acknowledge the fact that that is part of my lineage and part of my history. You can do both things. People just need to have respect. That's what it is. We're just in a time with no respect. Everybody's driving crazy. Everybody's just being mean to people. Everyone has main character syndrome. Just chill the freak out, folks. Alright, but enough of that. Yeah, this is a terrible port of this game. I don't understand how Sega. I guess, okay, to go back to this is kind of why you need emulation communities, and why it's kind of funny to think about how a game like this, which is the most, like, a flagship series for the company that is, like, shipping this game, Sega, that Sonic could be so poorly done, and then you have someone like the Taxman who's able to take a team of developers and recreate the Sonic the Hedgehog physics engine and produce a game like Sonic Mania that brought critical and fan acclaim, but then that doesn't get continued, and that's not, celebrated throughout the industry. And not to say that, things ended poorly or anything. I know that the report is that those companies, Taxman's companies, not Pagoda West and Headcanon, they amicably separated from Sega and whatnot. But to think that people like that can make wonderful games and then can just disappear, and like even they produced Penny's Big Breakaway, which I didn't really like, but it was a game. I kind of want to go back and play it because I didn't like it, but if I spent more time with it, it probably wouldn't be that bad. They produced that, and then they got shut down because I guess they didn't get they didn't continue. I don't know if they continued to get funding or what it was, but that company does not exist anymore. I don't believe, if I am not mistaken. Am I supposed to go up? Oh no, that's for rings. Give me a ring or give me death. I'm pretty sure they're like defunct now, or they all got fired or laid off or whatever. So now it's like they're all indie developers again. But it sucks because those are the people that we should be protecting in this industry because they are the embodiment of what fans are. The Taxman was so dedicated to making his retro engine and his spec game that the fans vaulted him to a position where Sega and Sonic Team recognized his talents, and he led to the direction of a canon mainline Sonic game. That is incredible. He makes one of, if not the best Sonic game in years, and that's it. And other companies don't look at their fan developers to say, hey, maybe there are people here who can do something and breathe life into a series that we sort of take for granted and we just kind of left to rot. It's a shame. It's really a shame. Wow. That's better. I don't know. I'm frustrated. Gaming tends to frustrate me for a myriad of reasons, and this is one of them. Oh god, I just want to get out of this level though because it sucks so much. There we go. Wait, am I even supposed to go this way? I don't even know. Oh god. I guess so. I guess we're going up. Alright, let's get that bubble. That Michael Bublé. We're gonna cross the... And hey! And yo, there's too much happening on screen. This junk is bricked, bro. This junk is... Oh my lord. Okay, wait, no. I don't think I'm supposed to go this way because I just came this way. Oh, we're supposed to bring it around town? Whenever I go the top path in Labyrinth Zone, I always get confused because I usually end up screwing up and taking the bottom path. Alright, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to do this no hitter, no death. Because if you just take your time, it's not a big deal. What happens is I don't take my gosh darn time, and then I get hit, and I go all the way to the bottom. Sleep at the top, nightmares at the bottom. Everybody want to be fly till you swallow. Who am I to talk? I ain't shitting roses. We're in the same picture, but we all got different poses. Alright, that's a one-hitter. That's a one-hitter. That's a one-hitter. Just take your time, young man. Don't you rush to get old. Like, literally, if you just wait, it's not that. It's no biggie. It's no biggie, because you can do it. Yeah. Alright. I don't care if I got hit. I got through it. I didn't die. Usually I fall, hit the ground, so that's good. Alrighty, how bad is this? Does it look okay? It doesn't look weird. God, that was so rough on the eyes. How did they screw up the freaking color palette so badly? Ew, the brick, the brick breaking, or is it the spin dash sound effect? The rolling sound effect sounds terrible. It's like a twinkling sound effect instead of that nice steam engine churning that he usually sounds like. This really, it makes it sound like a cheap arcade game, which is a shame. I don't know. I would love to interview people at Sega. I'd love to do like a documentary on Sega, but particularly like to find out where they went wrong. Or I guess Sonic Team in particular. We're a Sonic Team, and talk about where Sonic Team is. Not like in this. Oh god. Not in the sense of like, oh, I wanna make my own documentary that's like, oh, I'm just like speculating. No, like I wanna interview people who freaking worked on these games. And we're constantly forced to put out subpar projects, because I know some of them have to know. Maybe I need to finish reading the console rule book. That'll probably give me some good insight to something. Because I feel like that's a lot of what happens with Sonic. It's a rush to push the game out by holidays, so things aren't finished. Or it's a rush to hit some sort of deadline, so things aren't finished. And then you end up with a subpar product. Why does that do that? I just kind of wish Sonic Team had more time for things. And, well, I'm guessing I'm guessing Sonic Team didn't even work on this. I'm guessing. I have to look back at like the list of people who produced it, but it was a bunch of names. It wasn't like Sonic Team. I don't think it was probably other people they got to help make this run poorly on the Dreamcast. I guess it's also sad because, in the unending comparison between Sonic and Mario, you would never see Nintendo put out a Mario game that runs this poorly on native. Well, okay, you'd never seen, Mario on non-Nintendo hardware. But when you stop and think about like Sonic, and granted this is Sega hardware in terms of being the Dreamcast, but you never see Mario put out a Nintendo game or re-release a Mario game that runs poorly or doesn't, I don't want to go in there, that isn't well optimized for the platform it's on. But Sonic always does that. Look at Frontiers. Frontiers has popping all over the place, and it's like, that was their best game in a while. I'm sorry, I can rant and rave and bitch and moan all I want, but it's just the way things are, frankly. And I hate being that guy who's like, oh, that's just how it goes. But it's true to some degree. It's sort of just how things are. And I've just, shoot. I just have to kind of accept it, because this is where gaming is, and until there's a change for the better, I just gotta live with it. But again, that's why it's so important to be able to have video games, because like I'd much rather be playing this than having to make an account on what's it called? Assassin's Ubisoft's what's that game called? Prince of Persia. There you go. I'd much rather be playing this than having to do all that. Though people were saying if you make an account and like you go onto the game, you can then turn off your internet and you can play the game just fine. But the thing is, for me, it's not a matter of I don't want Ubisoft knowing what I'm doing. I don't care. Like, I'm playing your stupid game. That doesn't matter to me. Whoa. What matters to me is the fact that I have to be online. I shouldn't have to log into your system. Being online doesn't change anything. It's not like it makes the game run worse. I just don't want to have to log in to play a game that doesn't require an internet connection. I also it's a problem of data or privacy to an extent, because I don't like the fact that all these companies have their own, have our data and are entrusted with our data, and then inevitably get hacked, and then my data is out there, and I get an email saying, "Oh, your information may have been stolen in a data breach on February 23rd, 2024," with no recourse. There's nothing that happens. It's just, oh, someone stole my data. I have an employer. I do some contract work, and I switched from getting checks to getting direct deposit from them, and then I got a letter from them maybe about 2 months ago. And what does it say? Your data might have been stolen when we got hacked. Social security number, tax information, all that. And I'm like, you're like you deal in humans. You don't deal in software. Like, the business I work with is a human business. Oh, this music sounds like trash. And the fact that they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you got hacked. We got hacked and your information out. It's like nothing is safe. So if I cannot put my data in one more place, and maybe that might be the next step. Okay. Okay, get up there. That might be the next step, like for legislation, to some degree. Okay, now we gotta wait. That might be the next step for legislation to protect the user in terms of having some of these places get rid of all the useless accounts that don't do anything or don't add anything. I don't like the fact that I have a Ubisoft account, I have an Activision account, I have what other account do I have? Well, I guess, did I have a Blizzard account? I think I had a Blizzard account, but now it might just be Activision, because Blizzard is Activision. Because to play Overwatch, I'm pretty sure I needed an account at one point. No. This game is so hard when it's for glitching like this, when it's freaking stuttering. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, let's go, let's go. Oh, it's the piggy slopes. It's the piggy slopes. Shout out to the piggy slopes. Why did that not slow me down? There's like a ball and Sonic moving on screen. 2 balls! And the game doesn't slow down, but you get a freaking platform and it says slow down. Just slow down, baby. Shout out to Action Bronson. Sorry, I was thirsty. You gotta stay hydrated out here. With all the nefarious things happening in life, you gotta stay hydrated. Where all my Hydra homies at? Caterkiller. I gotta say, whoever names Caterkiller is pretty cool. Like, that's pretty metal. Because, realistically, Caterkiller isn't really that scary. He's just a caterpillar. Like, Caterkiller isn't necessarily going to kill you. Like, if you were face to face with a caterpillar IRL, he's not necessarily going to harm you, because you can't really attack him. He just slithers on the ground. You can just avoid him or kick him in the face. But, like, the name Caterkiller makes him sound so much more hardcore than he actually is. And I think that's pretty darn swell. Alrighty. You are going to probably see this video probably after I start. No. No checkpoint? No checkpoint. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're probably gonna see this video after I post the first episode of Dragon Ball Z. I'd like to see it go through 2. I've only recorded 2 of those episodes to this point. I want to record more, and I will. I need to be in like the right frame of mind to play a game because it's an RPG, and so you're just like questing and stuff. Not questing, it's not like that hardcore. But it's like just walking around and pressing A a bunch, and after a while you just kind of get bored. So, I gotta be like amped to play that game and find some humor and excitement in it. Yeah, why is there no checkpoint in this game, or in this level? Interesting. Interesting. Alright, this is the part where we died before. Caterpillar. My boy killing it. Oh, don't get. Okay. I wonder, on like a CRT, I can't remember. No! Ooh. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. Oh, thank God. Wow. Oh, it's the piggy slopes. It's the piggy slopes. I don't know why I call them that. I mean, other than the fact that they're very clearly slopes with piggies on them. Piggy slopes. I've been saying it for years now. Gotta keep it going. Alright, let's just get through this, please. Come on now. This is kind of excessively long. Oh, that's so lame. That's like, yo, we're just trying to throw it at you. And I got the ring. Alrighty. You may be asking, Grant, are you gonna purchase Sonic X Shadow Generations? To which I will say, eventually. It comes out on the 11th, right? This is the way, yeah, you want to go down. It comes out on the 11th, I believe. I will get it, you know I will. I already own that game 3 times over. I own it for PS3. Well, I own it 4 times over. I bought it for Xbox twice. I don't know why, other than the fact that I probably lost it. But I have it for Xbox, I have it for PS3, I have it for Steam. And I have obviously the 3DS copy. Go watch my unfinished playthrough because that final boss is trash. And frankly, I'll get it. Do I need it right away? Probably not. Like, I don't need to play it right away. And I'm frankly a little disappointed that the game is like, hey, we're only going to put 3 new shadow levels. Oh yeah, and 1 based off of the TV show in the game. Which, is that one DLC, or is that in just like the base game? I haven't died there in so long. Go watch any of my videos. I rarely die on Final Zone. Or at least, I don't die by getting squished. I don't, like, you just don't get squished. He doesn't go that fast. That's wild. That's an abysmal show. That's 3. Now I'm scared. My freaking palms are sweaty. These weak arms are heavy. Vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti. On the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on for. Okay, what are we doing here? Alright, we're good. We're good. Ooh, we're not good. I think for a poorly emulated game, that wasn't a bad run. Dude, why is Sonic Team so garbage? Why is Sega so garbage? Why are video game companies so garbage? I'll never understand it. I just want to relax and play some fun video games, that's all. But that's going to do it for this episode of What I'm Playing. Next time we'll come back and play Sonic 1 in another format. Do I have another format of Sonic 1? I probably do. I'm always on the lookout. There's a couple other Sonic games I want to get to. There's a Sonic and Sega tennis game that I really want. Which I forgot to look for at the store. So when I go pick up... Yeah, don't mind the sniffles. When I go pick up The Outer Worlds, because I have to go back and pick that up still, I'll probably check the shelf to see if they have it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I've talked about all I want to talk about, so I'm gonna cut the credits short, and I'll say thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.